Next, read and understand the 7 OSI model or layers. The acronym PDNTSPA. Easy way to remember, put that nice treatment in my spa. The P stands for physical layer, D stands for data link layer, N stands for network layer, T stands for transport layer, S stands for session layer, P stands for presentation layer, A stands for application layer. So you have to understand this 7 OSI model, and each time packets are being transferred or transported over a network, which layer is responsible for each form of communication. Focus on the keywords and how you can relate each with various types of cybersecurity incidents or communication in network security. This will also help you to understand cybersecurity in depth. Next, on this content, you should learn about the 5 regional internet registries. We have the ARIN, we have the REPAY, we have the APNIC, we have the AFRINIC, we have the LACNIC. So you have to learn about these various regional registries. Like LACNIC is responsible for Latin America, AFRINIC is responsible for Africa. Read about these various regional internet registries and know about them in depth. Read and know about types of cabling, coaxial, UTP, which stands for unshielded twisted pair. Also know about optical fibers, cable cutting devices and testing tools, USB connectors, type A, type Bs, fire plug connectors, type of I/O connectors, and removable medias. Understand the various backup methods and how these backups are conducted. For example, the full backup is the backup of the entire system or data of the organization. Incremental backup is conducted since the last differential backup, and differential backup is conducted since the last full backup. Understand this concept and understand how to run these various forms of backups. Next, also learn how to test your backups, resetting your device, restoring backups, and installing applications. As you work and as you progress in this industry, there is a philosophy that nobody's above a cybersecurity incident. You should always know about this so that if the organization eventually falls victim to a ransomware attack and the data cannot be recovered, you can be able to set the devices and restore these backups. You should also learn how to install software applications, check for the integrity of the software application, the signatures. This also helps you to know when an application has been corrupted or has been embedded with a malware. As most top organizations, when they create software updates, they upload these files via a file transfer protocol known as FTP server, and threat actors can eventually intercept these softwares if the FTP server was compromised. These threat actors can then now modify this software, which is now embedded with additional codes that are able to execute malware based on the type of malware the threat actor wants to execute. So you should learn how to check the signatures of softwares and learn how to research softwares before you install them. You don't want to end up installing a software not knowing that you have installed a malware that is responsible for mining Bitcoin for a suspicious or malicious threat organization. Next, learn about the definition of OS system BIOS. Know the different processors and its family. We have the Intel, we have the NVIDIA, and the recent ones in modern times is the Apple M2. Yeah, the Apple M2 chip. Also know about the motherboard, IDEs, audio controllers, PCI configuration, RAM, and hardware monitors. Understand the different switch fabrics, technology, memory and shared memory, performance, and various topology. Read and understand about various connectors, their functionalities and usage. So we have the USB connectors, and in the USB connectors, we have the USB 2.0, and we have the recent one, which is the USB 3.0. We also have the USB Type-C. So you should know about the various type of connectors and know where they are applicable. As you work in an organization, these are things or common site challenges you might be experiencing when the technical body or team that is responsible in fixing such problems are not available. So you should be self-aware and you should know about these things so that you can be able to solve these problems whenever they arise in your organization. Read and know in depth about routers, switches, servers, different storage networks, and data centers, because you'll be dealing with all this. Maybe you have your own private data center set up in your company, or you're using all these various cloud storage data centers. You also want to know how to research in depth to know what type of technology they use in their storage network, as you want something that is reliable, something that is properly secured, and also free from any compromise of the triad of cybersecurity, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So now we're done with the intermediate roles. Now we'll move down to the junior roles, what you should know on getting into cybersecurity as a junior. You have to understand all the concepts, both in the beginner down to the intermediate entry in cybersecurity. Know and understand about common and trending cyber attacks. This involves you reading online articles, cybersecurity infosec communities, and other forms of medium you can use in getting information that are trusted and reliable. Understand the triad of cybersecurity, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability, and how they can be impacted in a cybersecurity incident. So, given an example, let's say an organization was involved in a cybersecurity incident that resulted into the server not being available upon request. We can say in this situation, the availability arm of the cybersecurity triad has been impacted. Let's say also you are a pen tester and you discover that while on a communication, packets are being intercepted by a threat actor, and these packets were being embedded with malware codes and being altered. So you can now say in such scenario that the integrity arm of the triad of cybersecurity has been impacted. Also, in the same incident, confidentiality was also impacted, as the threat actor is not granted the access to view such information. However, with their skills and techniques, they were able to intercept this data, view this data, and embed something very sinister into those data. So you can say the confidentiality of that data has also been breached. So you should know this, focus on the keywords, and you will be able to understand this and how applicable they are in a cybersecurity incident. Read and understand how to improve your physical security. You have to be self-conscious and self-aware. Personal security, your online presence matters a lot because these are entry points when social engineering attacks are being conducted, with knowledge on trending cybersecurity attacks. So as the industry grows bigger and as more technologies are built, the form of cyber attacks and incidents increases. So you want to know the various form and the various trending cyber incidents. This will also help you to solidify your physical security and also your personal security. As a junior cybersecurity entry candidate, you should know and understand a few programming languages and their code structures. For example, PHP, with the latest version being PHP 8.4 or 3. You know C and C++, as most organizations are still running on legacy systems. Java is also important to know for mobile applications. Python for building tools. Bash scripting for building tools and pen testing. Perl programming language for building payloads and pen testing as well. Learn about HTML and CSS, as you'll be needing this when you perform vulnerability attacks such as cross-site scripting, SQL injection, and so on. Next, as a junior, you should know about various cryptographic mechanisms such as hashing, symmetric and asymmetric key cryptography. In symmetric, the same key used in encryption is the same key used in decryption. In asymmetric, the key used in encryption is different from the key used in decryption. Know about DSA, which is digital signature algorithms. Know about AES, known as advanced encryption standards, commonly used in our Wi-Fi password securities. Know about quantum cryptography, steganography, PGP, known as pretty good privacy. You should also know about data integrity, various key management systems, which includes authenticator apps, USB key management systems, cloud-based backup key management systems, and so on. This will also help you whenever you're creating a password policy for your organization. You should know about these various cryptographic mechanisms, as they are a form of standardized knowledge you should know as a junior cybersecurity candidate or expert. Get acquainted with and know various code repositories and note-taking platforms. For example, you should know about GitHub. Everybody knows about GitHub, where you can host your project online and share your various tools. GitLab is also like GitHub. Know about Slack. Know about Trello. Trello is an API testing platform. Know about Notion. Notion is a note-taking app. Next, as a junior cybersecurity engineer or expert to be, you should know and read on various infosec and social media platforms. For example, X app, formerly known as Twitter, is a reliable source of information. Mastodon is another trusted social media platform. Stack Overflow, Discord, blogs, you should visit Medium. They have a lot of good write-ups on pen testing and how they hack a lot of boxes. Reddit is a generic platform, but you have to, tailor your feed based on what you want to be saying or see. Lemmy is also there. LinkedIn in recent times has been like a job hunting platform, but to be able to get resources out of LinkedIn, you're advised to join groups and follow various pages. Read and know about the NIST cybersecurity frameworks and its application in various cybersecurity fields. So we have the protect, the detect, the recover, and also have the respond. Generally, it's about 5. You should read more about this and know in depth about the NIST cybersecurity framework. Next, you should understand the 8 rules of engagement. This applies not just as a pen tester, but also as a bug bounty hunter. Generally, it focuses more pen testers' career journey, cybersecurity. So the pre-engagement interaction is where you discuss. This is where you define the scope of work, the statement of work, and you also sign agreements and terms, conditions. Next, you should understand intelligence gathering. This is the reconnaissance and how you have to conduct your intelligence gathering. Is it active reconnaissance or passive reconnaissance? On scanning, you should know how to perform enumeration of ports and services. So this can be checking various ports and services when you perform Nmap scan. Threat modeling is how you intend to conduct your attack. Next on the list is the vulnerability analysis, where you analyze the various vulnerabilities and the impact. Then exploitation, this is where you exploit the said vulnerability you've analyzed. And post-exploitation has to do with persistency. How do you want to retain persistency? This can be by setting up cron jobs or installing a reverse shell. Each time the system is on, it should connect back to you. Report and technical report writing. This is very essential, as most people try to make this bogus and not straight to the point. Learn how to define your technical report writing in a very orderly manner. Write from what you did, how you gathered the information, and how you conducted your exploitation down to your post-exploitation. This will also have various risk assessment and mitigations preferred for the said penetration testing conducted. Know and understand the rules of various cloud platforms you wish to test. Their rules of engagements varies. For example, Microsoft platform rules of engagement can be viewed using this link. So you don't want to pen test an organization's cloud storage network or containers without adhering to these rules of engagement by the storage or container providers. So if you don't view those rules of engagement, and maybe in the future it was discovered that the damage that was caused on the infrastructure was as a result of your pen testing event carried out, this can result into a lawsuit for your organization. So always read various cloud storage units rules of engagement whenever you're conducting your pen testing. You have to understand the 7 steps of a cyber kill chain, right from reconnaissance, weaponization, delivering, exploitation, installing, command and control, action. Focus on the keywords and concept of every definition. This is very important as well, especially for those who are into malware analysis and malware research, because this is how you're going to research how and various mechanisms the threat actor used in propagating the malware on the network that was affected. Focus on the keywords and concept of every definition. Next, you have to understand the various OS machines. For instance, you have to know about the Kali and how to set up your pen testing lab that comprises of various vulnerable boxes. These boxes will be as a guideline for you to practice your skills. Learn how to set up the various VMwares and VirtualBox machines. How to set up various VMwares and VirtualBox machines are very important. Learn how to set up and install various operating systems for your pen testing, events, and analysis. For instance, if you're into malware analysis, you don't want to be executing this malware in your system. That means at each time you're done, you have to reformat the system, and which might put a strain on the storage device. Learn how to import and export VirtualBox images, such as OVF, VDIs images. This can also help whenever your VirtualBox system is not functional. You can be able to import back those files right from the point you backed it up. Installing various penetration testing tools, understand their purpose and how to use them. These are fundamentals and basics you need to know. You don't just install tools because others are installing it. You should focus on installing tools based on its importance and necessity for you, or how it can assist you in your penetration testing event. Understand how to image files, storages, hard disks, and volatile memories. leaning towards blue team and forensics. So you should learn how to do this file imaging and storage imaging and how to collect evidence. This can help you in performing your blue team activities efficiently and conducting your forensics activities without mistakes. Know various tools that help in forensics imaging of files and logical storage and memories. As an addition, you should also learn Linux commands. They are essential in all aspects. Read and understand the concept of various programming language. Learn tool-based and payload-based codes such as PHP, C/C++, C#, Ruby, Python, HTML, CSS, Bash script, and Java. Learn how to use these codes to build tools and how they are structured in web applications, mobile applications, and industrial control systems. As you'll be pen testing a few organizations which have legacy systems, you want to know how these codes are working, how they are executed on the network or infrastructure. Majority of these codes are used in legacy systems and are not yet retired. Learn how they are integrated into servers and application building as well. Understand the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities such as SQL injection, cross-site request forgery, cross-site scripting, hacking APIs, lax security settings, clickjacking, brute forcing for pen testers. However, bug bounty might consider this as an out of scope in some programs. Server-side request forgery, denial of service and distributed denial of service attack, insecure design, weak session IDs, privilege escalation, and so on. So to read more about this OWASP top 10 and various entry points or how you can locate these vulnerabilities, you can visit OWASP's website that is provided in this content. Next, you have to understand the OWASP MASTG and MASVS. Read and focus on the keywords. The MASTG is for Mobile Application Security Testing Guide. MASVS is for Mobile Application Security Verification Standards. You should know about this and the various tools that can be used in conducting pen testing with regards to these various ops projects. To read more, you visit the links provided in this content. Research other tools as well that are out there on GitHub. Also learn how to use AI to research tools. This will be teaching you how in our subsequent videos, how you can prompt AI to give you a list of trending tools and how you can use this result in researching and downloading tools that will help you in your pen testing journey and career. You want to know and understand in details about IoT, which is Internet of Things, ICS, Industrial Control System. Understand in details about HVAC systems, which stands for Heat and Ventilation Air Conditioning Systems. Read and understand about perimeter security such as CCTV and RFIDs. Read and understand about various perimeter security as well, known as firewalls, single firewall DMZ and dual firewall DMZs, proxy servers and DMZs as well. Read and understand the concept of honeypots, as honeypots can help you in gathering information on how threat actors are conducting their various attacks on your network. This can also give you a clue on how you can implement or solidify your security. Now we're done with what is expected of a junior cybersecurity engineer role. We are now moving on to the technical guide for the seniors. As a senior cybersecurity engineer, you have to possess all knowledge right from beginner down to intermediate to junior and the senior category. Threat and vulnerability assessment, preparing of TVA worksheet, which is threat and vulnerability assessment worksheet. Know about the Mitre attack, pre and framework. You should also know in depth about cybersecurity research, malware, vulnerabilities, malware propagation, how this malware are propagated on the network, trending security breaches that involve the web, the mobile, server, network, and systems. This will also help you how to quickly provide security updates for your organization's infrastructure. On risk assessment, understand the difference between threats and threat vectors. Threat is what is capable of causing harm on the network, and the vectors is means on how these threats can be conducted. Read more and understand about likelihood of occurrence and impact in terms of risk assessment and ranking. To read more about this, you can visit Mitre official website provided in this article. Next, as a senior cybersecurity engineer or aspiring senior cybersecurity professional to be, you have to understand and read about the different techniques in performing risk assessment. We have the qualitative risk assessment, such as determining what is the impact in the organization in terms of is it high or low or medium, while quantitative has to do in terms of impact. So what are the resources? What is in terms of financial loss, what is going to be the impact when such incident occurs? Understand the difference between asset value, which is the value of the total asset of your organization, the original cost, which is the cost of what these assets were purchased, the depreciating cost in terms of its price changes as the year goes by, replacement cost, the cost of replacing these equipments in the course of cybersecurity incident or disaster, exposure factor, and so on. Understand the single loss of expectancy, analyze rate of occurrence, analyze loss of expectancy. You also have to understand the mean time to failure and the mean time between failure. So this will also help you on how to prepare when an incident occurs and how you can probably restore back the organization's services as soon as you recognize this incident. Learn and know about the NIST framework in terms of vulnerability assessment. You also have to know about the CVSS, which is the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, and the CWE, which is the Common Weakness Enumeration. Next, read and understand about software-defined networks. Understand the concept of AI and high-performance computing networks. Read and understand about security considerations, SSL, Secured Socket Layer, TLS. Read and understand about web server and web application configurations, about various cloud infrastructure configurations. For example, Azure, which is also known as Entra ID, Docker, Kubernetes, VMware Photon, Google Build, AWS, and OpenShift. So these are the trending containers out there. Learn how to create ACLs, which is access control lists based on role for reback and based on attributes for ABAC and based on policy feedback. And how to build tech tools that can help in scanning these various cloud storage and containers. For more information about ransomware attacks, you can read this by clicking this link. This was a ransomware attack that occurred in Romania, where hospitals and clinical organizations were shut down as a result of encrypted data that had to be used in diagnosing patients of various hospitals. You should learn and understand how to draft various technical reports and communicating your ideas and concepts to executive. Understand and read in depth about cybersecurity pre-sales. Read and understand the various roles in cybersecurity. For example, software security engineer, their roles, incident response team and their roles, forensic analyst, their roles, privacy regulation expert, CISO, and so on. Learn and understand how to draft security policies, protecting both investors, stakeholders, customers, vendors, and so on. As a senior cybersecurity expert or engineer to be, know in depth about local and cross-border regulatory bodies, their policies and law. For example, the HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability. For example, the HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. The PCI, the PCI DSS, which stands for Payment Card Information and Data Security Standards, have their standards in preserving patient information and scanning payment card information. However, this also varies by various regulatory bodies locally and cross-border wise. These organizations that exist locally, cross-border wise, prepare their own standards from the general standard outlined by these regulatory bodies and policies. So you want to know these various regulatory bodies, and from there you know how you can draft your own organization's policies and laws. Know and learn about additional regulatory compliances and rules. For example, the SOX, which stands for Sarbanes-Oxley Act, the FISMA, which is the Federal Information Security Management Act, the GDPR, which is properly and widely known in the EU, which stands for General Data Protection Regulation. As a senior cybersecurity engineer, you should understand how to simulate phishing attacks across your organization. Understand modern trends threat actors use in propagating malware. For example, malvertising, typo squatting, watering hole attack, ransomware attacks, whaling, spear phishing attacks. These are various forms of phishing campaigns you'll be simulating. You want to ensure that your organization employees, staff, and team members are security conscious and aware of trending cybersecurity incidents as well. You should also learn how to prevent these attacks from occurring. You should also know about disaster recovery plans set in place should in case this incident occurs. For example, we have the cold site, we have the warm site, we have the hot site, and you should be able to differentiate between these various sites. For instance, the hot site is a fully functional site, while the warm site is partially functional and the cold site is not functional. It's just a physical structure which might comprise of just cabinets and racks. To read more about malvertising, you can click this link provided in the article. So now we are done with the basics you should know in getting to the senior role of cybersecurity. We are now coming to an end of this presentation by talking about the technical guide for professionals, or who are also known as executive and experts. First, these professionals are considered executives and top management teams. They comprise of stakeholders, shareholders, founders, and high-performance individuals with broad knowledge on all facets of cybersecurity. They are responsible for sealing deals. They serve as arbitrators with vast expertise across all fields. They are also responsible for the effective functional procedures and activities of the entire organization. Various cybersecurity teams and professions report to this category of professionals. Now we have come to an end of this presentation. To talk about books and tools, expect our monthly book review starting the first weekend of March. We will be publishing these book reviews every Saturday. It's going to be a weekly program, diving in depth about these books. These are books read by our various team members, and we'll highlight in depth about them as well. On tools, we will be publishing 2 different tools we research in depth on every Friday of the week. And this also is going to be starting in the month of March. This description will be based on if they are freemium tools, which means if they are free, if they are open source, if they are subscription based or one-time payment based. We'll be sharing links to them. Please use our shared links for your internet safety first, as that is our priority, and also as a way of us earning little commissions to keep the channel fully functional. We'll also be discussing in various projects to be created based on tiers of cybersecurity. For example, what is expected of a beginner's project and what is expected as senior, and so on. On general rants, these are top deals that occurred late 2023 and the early months of 2024. AI is widely adopted right now in cybersecurity, so it's advisable to learn about AI intensively. For example, Cisco and Splunk struck a deal worth over $28 billion, which involves Splunk being integrated into Cisco-based softwares. Thales also agrees to pair a deal with Imperva, which has a fee worth over $3.6 billion. Other acquisitions that also happened include Stoma Bravo and ForgeRock, Proofpoint, and Tessian, CrowdStrike, Fire Bionic. So you should read more about this on InfoSec Security magazine. They're a very good blog for cybersecurity information as well. On top AI tools that we researched on, OpenAI Sora for video creation functionality. You might be asking, why should you use OpenAI Sora? To be honest, as the industry gets bigger, most of the simulations and training you might be conducting might involve you using video content based on AI to demonstrate your activities. So embrace this new invention and learn how to use them in cybersecurity. Fetcher AI helps for recruiters. If you're planning to recruit team members, and use Fetcher AI. Mixtral is an advanced chat capabilities found in Brave browsers, so you can learn how to use Mixtral in communicating and retrieving comments via AI. Cloud Instant is a conversational and text generation based AI tool, so you should learn about how to use Cloud Instant. It's going to help you on how to communicate with your various team members via text messages. So AI is not that bad. You should learn about it and embrace it. So hopefully with this information you've gained from us, you'll be able to move on with the speed of light on your journey into the career and field in the cybersecurity industry. We have come to an end of this course, and if you think this video has been very informative and you've learned 1 or 2 things from us, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notification bell, as we'll be publishing more content related to cybersecurity in the coming and subsequent videos. We hope with this little information you've gotten, you'll be able to move in a positive trajectory on your journey as a cybersecurity engineer. See you in our next video.